Hi, my name is Hannah. On this channel I will be talking about theatre. So if you're interested in that, please stick around, leave me a comment, let's be friends. Today I'm doing a book haul and it will be specifically theatre themed. I haven't read all of these books yet, but some of them I did, so maybe I can tell you a little bit about them as I go along. Let's start with a bit of theatre history. It will be mostly about British theatre, because that's what I'm really interested in. Changing Stages. A View of British Theatre in the 20th Century by Richard Hare and Nicholas Wright. They are theatre practitioners and therefore the book, which is fairly thick, is very informative. They definitely know what they're talking about, but it's also quite easy to read. It's more popular than academic. Actually, one thing that bothers me a bit is that there's not a proper referencing system. So, like, there's a citation and you don't really know where it's from. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. British Theatre Since the War by Dominic Shellard. This one's definitely more academic. I started to read it and found it equally exciting and boring, to be honest. It is a little bit dry, but but he's very good with referencing. Dramaturgy, A Revolution in Theatre by Mary Lughurst. This one's really good. It is academic, but at the same time very easy to read. If you don't know, dramaturgy is sort of managing a theatre from a literary point of view. It was established in Germany, so this book talks about German theatre history and the influence it had on British theatre as well. This one was really expensive. I paid £26 for that. Theatre and Nation by Nadine Holdsworth. Probably not pronouncing that right. This is a tiny little book from a series where each one is called Theatre and something. I only have this one. To be honest, I had high hopes for it and found it a bit basic, just a lot of definitions, and I sort of expected it to go further. And this lovely old book is by Edward Gordon Craig, who was a theatre director and a very influential theoretician, sort of around 1900. The book is called Ellen Terry and Her Secret Self, and it's about Ellen Terry, who's a legendary actress, and she was his mother. Then I have some books about directing. The first one is The Empty Space by Peter Brook. This is a legendary text, very influential, and everyone needs to read that. I read it in translation, so I wanted to have an English copy as well. On Directing. These are interviews with British directors from different genres or types of theatre. They get a similar set of questions, so it's interesting to see how the answers differ. Peter Hall's Diaries, a story of a dramatic battle. Peter Hall was one of the artistic directors of the National Theatre, and so was Richard Hare, who came after him. Am I going to read this amount of someone's diaries? Probably not. Then I have a few books by David Hare, who's one of the most prominent British playwrights and certainly one of my favourites. The Blue Touch Paper is his recently published memoir in which he talks about his life from his childhood until the end of 1970s. I would recommend it, but only if you're interested in the era or in him particularly. It's quite thorough. Obedience, Struggle and Revolt. This is a series of lectures. Some of them are more interesting than the others, but mostly I really liked it. And Acting Up. This is the real gem here. If I make you go buy one book, please be it this one. You can find it online. This is his diary from the end of 1990s when he performed on stage in his own play called Via Dolorosa. And he was acting for the first time in his life. He did it in the West End and on Broadway. This is the diary from the time when he was rehearsing it and performing, and it's just epic. But you can only read this not really knowing the content of the play, because This tells so much about the nature of performing, just how the theatre world works. He mentions different people you wouldn't expect to be mentioned. And also, just his thoughts are so interesting. Each entry basically brings up something really interesting for you to think about. And also, he's really funny. And I also bought something about musical theatre because who doesn't like a good musical? Well, many people don't, but I do. The Musical as Drama by Scott Macmillan. Haven't read this yet, but doesn't it sound just perfect? And look at the picture! Do you know where it's from? If you do, I really appreciate you. And we have Look, I Made a Hat by Stephen Sondheim. This is a collection of his lyrics with extra comments. There might be a version of a song he didn't use in the end, or explanations why he chose to do certain things. It is in fact a second volume. The first part of his career was covered in a book called Finishing the Hat. I already own that one and it's one of the best things in the world, so I had to have this one as well. So that's it for today. If you want to share your opinion on any of these books or recommend others, I would love to see that, so please leave me a comment. And until next time, bye!